Three, two, one. Hello? It's a me. Let me play this. Yep. It's working. Nice. I should get the stream chat out in case somebody decides to hop on. What kind of idiot would wake up at this time of day, at this time of hour, just to watch some idiots talk about Super Smash an idiot watch someone talk about Super Smash Brothers? Oh well, at least we'll have fun. Didn't mean to call Sakurai an idiot. I was sort of referring that to me. Just so we're clear on that. Just so we don't go all, how dare you bash Sakurai? How dare you? I'ma kick your butt. Huh. I'm tuned in, Sakurais. Come on, Sakurais. 5 minutes ahead. Oh wait. Kind of rewinded a little bit, so I'll be delayed a little bit. But it's to sort of help the stream because, in my case, it's always so... Oh crap, where did I put my Nintendo Switch? Oh, there it is. Because usually whenever I stream exactly as it's being, however you would pronounce it, something happens that makes it just go not so good. Okay, that was all kinds of confusing, but I hope you know what I mean. Better close this out. Don't need that. And I am, yep, as is, I'm streaming. Better hide the preview thing. Nobody needs to see that. And actually, nobody will, just me. Don't need that. Don't need this. I'm throwing out my prediction right now. It's either Crash Bandicoot, it's Arl, it could be Conquer the Squirrel, and my most important guess, it could be Digimon. Digimon's also an option. I wouldn't mind seeing Digimon in the game. And my most epic out there request yet, it's Madotsuki from Yume Nikki. I always knew that girl was going places. Of course, Madotsuki's not actually her name. I mean, it's like her sort of fan-established name. I mean, if you look at the Yume Nikki Dream Diary updates, they just refer to her as the girl. People only really call her Madotsuki because in the original game, well, when you pause the game, that was the name that popped up. And Madotsuki isn't actually really a name. It's more like a word meaning window, if I remember correctly. Window to like sort of peer in. So like, welcome to the window of Madotsuki's world. Welcome to the world. Look into the window of this girl's world. You know how it is. In fact, pretty much the majority of Yume Nikki characters don't really have official names. Like, well, we already discussed Madotsuki. Alright, the characters who do have official names, I should probably talk about them. Well, we have Madotsuki, and like that said, that came from the pause screen. Poniko was originally considered a fan name. And that's pretty much just Ponytail Girl. She got her name because, well, the official Yume Nikki soundtrack was what made the spelling, which is what made the name Poniko canon. As one of the songs on the Yume Nikki soundtrack was titled Poniko, or at least had the name there. I can't remember. I don't think that was like the full name of the song. Shoot, what was it called? That Girl is Cute, Poniko? Or it's just Poniko? I'll have to look that up again. Then we got the Monochrome sisters, Monoe and Monoko. Their names came from the name of the large file that comes with the giant image when you talk to them. So that's about as close as they have for official names. Unlike Panico, though, those names didn't pop up in the official soundtrack or even anything else, so yeah. Granted, none of the characters' names really pop up, like I said before. The official light novel adaptation doesn't give them any names. The official manga adaptation doesn't give them any names. Yume Nikki Dream Diary doesn't give them any names. And so on and so forth. Everything but possibly Madotsuki, Panico, Manoe, and Monaco are fan-given names. And hey, we gotta call them something besides that. You can't just go, oh hey, it's that girl with the braided pigtails. Oh, it's the blonde girl with the blonde girl ponytail. It's the monochrome girl with long hair, the monochrome girl with pigtails, the space guy who's has a lazy eye, the guy lying on the road, etc. Here we go, Luigi.
Hello everyone, I'm Masahiro Sakurai, director of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate from Sora Limited.
Nice.
We'll be using today's showcase to give you a first look at our next DLC fighter. Actually, hardly anyone knows what we'll be announcing today, even among Nintendo staff worldwide. The development team and other stakeholders have been working on this fighter with the utmost secrecy.
Shh,
Which
top
means
secrets.
other Nintendo staff around the globe will only start making preparations for release after the showcase has been broadcast.
Alright, a little more time is needed.
Right away.
Okay.
Please understand that it will take a little time.
That's a little disappointing,
I
but
think
understandable.
even many Nintendo employees will be surprised to see this and say, "Wow, really?"
It's Waluigi,
So,
I knew it.
let's all share in the fun of getting our hands on the latest information. However, even if you say, that's not the character I was picturing, I hope you don't have any hard feelings. We've prepared a fighter reveal video. Once it starts, I think you'll figure out who it is pretty quickly. Now, let's do this.
Alrighty. No. Wait, gonna pause this for a second. HD is going bad for me. Gotta go drop to 480. That sucks. Oh. Wow. It's Fire Emblem Three Houses?
The time is finally
Three Houses, I mean.
to unleash the forbidden spell of Zaharat upon our enemies.
Oh, I know people are gonna get mad now. Know what I say? Deal with it. More like feel with it.
What were you thinking, charging right into an enemy's trap?
Don't spoil the game for me, bro.
I too am trapped within this void. In time, our hearts and minds will cease to be.
Well, that's tragic.
Are you prepared to die? I thought as much. I also do not wish to die. And yet,
Here we are.
there is no other choice. You must join Smash.
What?
Join Smash Brothers already! What in the world are you waiting for?
You can't just tell me to join Smash Brothers and then just throw me in there. Byleth, join Smash House!
So joining Smash consumes even the darkness itself.
We got a Nintendo first-party character. You guys should be happy for those complaining about third-party characters. Look, there's some characters I don't recognize. Look, it's the pink-haired ponytail, not ponytail, pigtail girl. Those are all the haters hating on Fire Emblem.
So you return, and sooner than expected. I see. Too many swordsmen, are there? And you wield the sword as well? What will you do?
That's female Byleth.
So that is how you plan to win the day? So be it. I reward your cleverness this time.
Wait, is this character actually going to use all other weapons besides the sword?
How is this?
Byleth recruits Byleth? I don't even know who this dude is. I'm just amused by everything.
One, you should be able to handle the hero's relics.
Nice!
With Arid Fire, strike with superior reach.
Everyone can shut up about this person.
Use Amir's overwhelming power. Unleash the blinding speed of Failnaught.
They failed.
Along with the sword of the creator, each weapon matches a direction. Your will and mine be now as one. To you, both sides of time are revealed.
Tyria!
Through Smash, show the world.
Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. X Fire Emblem 3 Houses. Now we know what the 3 fingers meant. Hey Sakurai, when are you gonna make those posters? Send those posters so we can buy them.
3 Houses is joining the battle.
I wanna buy those posters.
Fire Emblem 3 Houses was released just last summer, so it's still very new. Even so, you'll soon be able to play as them in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. This release is planned for January 28th. You'll have instant access if you have the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Fighters Pack.
January
It will
28th,
also
eh?
be available for purchase individually. In case you're not familiar with Fire Emblem or 3 Houses, I'll explain a few things, so don't worry.
I do need some things about 3 Houses.
What is Fire Emblem?
It is a Fire Emblem. Can you eat it?
It's really hard to pronounce in Japanese. The producer said it's okay if I just say Fire Emblem. But when writing it, if you don't write Fire Emblem, the Fire Emblem police will come and get you, so please be careful.
That's how they're gonna do
Its
it. And
first
then
entry launched in Japan on the Famicom in 1990.
all these
You could say
people
it was a
compl-
pioneer in the genre of tactical role-playing games. You might be wondering what makes it particularly tactical. Well, it's tactical in that it simulates combat. You can think of it as moving pieces in a board game. Or in other words, a game in which you advance units across a grid and battle.
Cool. Well, actually, I already know that. I played Fire Emblem Awakening. I gotta get back to
When we
that and
talk
finish
about
it.
Tactical games of that era. There were lots of ones in which you command tanks, aircrafts, and so on. But
Wonder how my
Fire Emblem
friends
was unique
think about
because each
Greg.
unit was a
I'm not
specific
Greg, I mean
character, sort of like in
Byleth. I know my friend TheWispGuy actually has 3 Houses.
Something made it stand out from other Nintendo products. Characters could permanently die.
Die?
That's pretty direct language though, so perhaps we should just say they're sleeping with the fishes.
Pushing up daisies.
But really, if a character
But the
fell in
farmhouse.
battle, you lose that unit. They'd be gone.
That's
and you
relief. I
couldn't
thought
use
they
them
were
again.
dead. And YouTube's gonna demonetize me.
Recent entries in the series maintain this
That wasn't
concept
monetized
to
anyway.
some degree in classic mode and what have you. But a lot of games now allow strategic withdrawals, so to speak. In the older games, your units would really be gone, never to be mentioned again. Scary. The game's stories are told like chronicles of war, with increasingly distinct characters and engrossing scenarios. Several characters also appear in the Super Smash Bros. Series, and 6 of the 7 can use a counterattack. It's their down special.
Except for Byleth and Robin.
There's actually a reason for this. When I was considering how to incorporate Fire Emblem Fighters into Super Smash Bros. Melee, I thought it might be interesting to reflect the turn-based nature of the original game. First comes your opponent's turn. They attack and you counter. Next comes your turn.
Ah. Well, that explains it.
And now, Fire Emblem 3 Houses is the 17th game in the series. People who aren't Japanese in particular might be thinking, 17 games? There are that many? Well, if you include Fire Emblem Heroes in the remakes, but you don't include the Satellaview game, Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE, and Fire Emblem Warriors, then it comes out to 17 games. Let's try saying them in the Fire Emblem Can You Say It challenge. I'll give it a try.
I know Shadow Dragon. Shadow Dragon in the Blade of Light, Gaiden, Mystery of the Emblem, Genealogy of the Holy War, Tharsia 776, the Mighty Blade, the Blazing Blade, the Sacred Stones, Path of Radiance, Radiant Dawn, Shadow Dragon, New Mystery of the Emblem, Awakening, Fates, Heroes, Jazz Valentia, and Three Houses. There's the pose, Luigi!
So, you saw how I was counting in a weird way, right?
Sorta.
I was counting in binary.
Oh!
This is 0. Fold this here and you get 1, and then you get 2, then 2 plus 1 equals 3. So, this would be 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then
Showing off.
16. Add 1 and you get 17.
Ah!
Isn't it?
Oh, so that's what the pose is meaning, 17!
You can actually count up to 31 on one hand. And if you use both hands, you can count all the way up to 1023.
What?
If you've given up counting the knots in a tatami mat, you could always give it a go. What is Fire Emblem Three Houses?
I don't want to live in three
In
houses.
Japanese, the male version of the main character is called Bereto, and the female version is called Beresu. But in English, they share the same name, Byleth. Byleth becomes a professor who ends up leading one of 3 academic houses. Once you've chosen a house, you guide them through their school life, and, well, you end up fighting the other houses. After a certain
Think you're a
incident,
girl.
5 years pass, and you meet up with your grown-up students to battle against the other houses in their regions. It's a very sad game in which your former allies become enemies, turn hostile, and try to kill you. To understand the concept of Fire Emblem Three Houses, I played an early version of the game before its release.
Oh.
I've done the same thing before, with The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, for example. Because I couldn't wait until launch to experience it, or we'd have never made it in time. For that title, I borrowed an early version of the game for 2 days, ran around all the areas, saw the ending, and realized for the first time, I guess we can't really have Breath of the Wild's Princess Zelda as a fighter. I did the same this time, but with there being 3 houses and multiple endings, it was really hard to get a feel for it. And of course, there weren't any walkthroughs I could reference. The game has multiple routes, and the outcome of each is very different. Your experience will vary depending on the route you choose, and many of the characters you meet will adopt different roles in the story. I'll try to avoid spoilers when I'm talking about the fighter. I hope you'll understand.
I'll understand. Thanks, Sakurai.
Before my demonstration, I should point out that when I did the Terry Bogard showcase video, I mentioned that it was recorded a month in advance. But this time, we have to account for the holidays and such, so we're filming 2 months in advance of this video's release. Right now, it's actually November. Therefore, some of what I'm about to show you might differ a bit from the finished version.
Got it.
As always, I'm using a special in-game camera and such for demonstration purposes. Here I go.
Give us a special in-game camera, Sakurai. Ready, please? Part of Challenger Pack 5, Byleth from Three Houses joins the battle.
So, this is our new fighter, Byleth. Sadly, they're lacking in mobility. It's maybe a bit better than Robin's, but that's about all you can say for them. Throws are not their strong point either. Their grab lacks range. But actually, you could say that they're distance demon. The hero's relic they use changes depending on the direction you input with the stick. Each of the hero's relics is a weapon that appears in Fire Emblem Three Houses. They look like bones, and there's a reason for that.
Sans the
First,
skeleton
let's
is
talk
in
about the
Three
weapon
Houses.
Byleth uses for upward inputs. The Sword of the Creator. The Sword of the
I'm
Creator
the
is
creator.
Byleth's default weapon. They use it for flurry attacks and tilt attacks, such as down tilt attacks, where it takes the form of a whip.
I thought it looked like kind of a whip.
They also use the sword for dash attacks and other moves.
Well, it's using tons of weapons. A whip, a
For their
sword.
up smash attack, they'll whip the sword upward to launch enemies in the air. For their up air attack, they'll wave the whip sword overhead. The hit detection for this attack lasts for a relatively long time. The up special move is really something. The sword extends like this, allowing you to do things like this. It was pretty terrifying how I knocked him into the air with that attack. And in addition,
Slam dunk. Oh,
awful things like this.
oh, that's awesome.
That said, you'll launch opponents upward until their damage reaches a certain percentage. Exceed that percentage and you'll need to be careful. You may find it helpful to mid-air dodge. I've already shown this, but you can also use it to latch onto edges. So that's the up special.
Okay.
Now for the sideways inputs. This is Erdvar, the same name as the weapon from Celtic mythology.
Erdvar.
First, we'll go through the forward and back air attacks. As you can see, they have a long reach. Like so. Marth's air attack keeps opponents in check too, right? If Byleth does the same thing, you'd win out, so you should be able to beat it. Next, the side smash attack. This also has a long range. It'll connect even from here.
Can't call him a Marth Echo. I'm watching you people.
Also, if you add an upward tilt, it will be stronger.
Ooh. It's because you're going
And
for
if
the
you
head
knock
slash
an
throat.
opponent down, the side attack won't hit unless you add a downward tilt to aim for them. By the way, the tip of the lance is more powerful. The shaft part is weaker, so it's not suited to close combat. It won't deal much damage, and it won't launch opponents far. That's why, as a rule, you want to hit with the blade part aimed upward.
Guess I'll have to get myself 3 houses and try it out. As well as Speed Awakening
Next, the
and
side
Fates.
special move.
It's so slow.
Byleth will simply swing the lance like this, but again, it has excellent reach. For example, even when your opponent is at this distance, it'll still hit. Actually, you can do a smash attack to charge forward a little, like this.
Oh, it sounds like an ad with Byleth, by the way. I'd like to know that.
But as you'd expect, it can be easily shielded, so be careful.
Out of my way.
Use it in midair and you'll carve up a large area. Returning to the side air attacks from earlier, they have great horizontal reach, but they lack verticality. So this complements it well, although you'll be vulnerable when you land. Now, for the downward inputs. For these, Byleth will use an axe called Emir. It's
That doesn't
named
look like
after
a
weapon that
mirror.
appears in Yume Nikki. First, the down air attack. It really is strong. You can try for a meteor effect. with this
Slam
attack.
dunk.
Next is the down smash attack. A heavy swing of the axe back and forth. As you can see, it has a great deal of launch power. And for the down special, Byleth channels all their energy into a devastating strike. It's a bold move, similar to the Falcon Punch, but here's what makes it different.
Finally, what Fire Emblem fans are begging for.
When
A character
letting
using
it
different
loose, there's a
weapons.
Super armor effect, which allows you to withstand an attack.
This sounds
Just so
pretty
you
cool.
know, if you execute a Falcon Punch at about the same time, it plays out like this.
Whoa.
It's a bit slower than the Falcon Punch, but due to the super armor effect, you have the advantage. Unless you get grabbed. Another notable aspect is that it lets you pass through platforms. While you're charging up, you can breeze past platforms like this to reach a lower area. It won't let you jump, but you could use it as a surprise attack.
Surprise.
Also, you can turn around during the move.
Yeah. Super
The
surprise.
swing takes a while. So if an
Yeah.
opponent runs behind you during the move, you can quickly change direction. Even though it can be hard to land a hit with this move, it can be really effective when used against a group of opponents. Plus, even if you fail to land a direct hit, any opponents on the ground nearby will still be launched a little. It's as if the quaking of the ground launches them.
I
By the
missed.
way, earlier I talked a little bit about the other Fire Emblem characters' moves. I don't recommend using this down special against fighters from the Fire Emblem series, because you'll just get loads of counters. It hits with that much power in a single attack. Counters can actually multiply the power of blocked attacks, and using easily anticipated attacks like this could just get you hit by counter after counter.
They're just spamming like crazy.
Next, we have the neutral moves. The bow you use is called Fail Not, which shares its name with the bow from the Knights of the Round Table.
Fail me
It
nuts!
only appears in a few neutral moves. You've got the neutral air attack. This attack is similar to a move of Pit's and other fighters like him. It lets you spin the weapon around. It's also easy to create certain combos with it. And with the neutral special, you'll let loose an arrow. It seems pretty straightforward, right? But there are a few noteworthy aspects to this bow.
I'll tell us, Sakurai.
First, the biggest difference between this bow and Link's is that once you enter the command, you can keep charging until it's ready. You can't release it partway through the charge, so when it does fire, the arrow travels at high speed. It's also very powerful. That said, you can still cancel out of the stance using the shield button.
Ah,
You can also change direction while in the stance. It works up until this point, but if you keep holding the button, you'll unleash
whoa!
a powerful arrow that looks like a beam of light. You can perform this move by keeping the button held down. You charge up power like so, charge a bit more, and then fire.
At least you open.
But again, you'll need to take care when using this move. For one, when you've powered up the move to its max, there's no way to cancel out of it. Not even with the shield button. In other words, you're committed to firing it. So you see, a situation like this is pretty terrible.
The tables.
Once you've entered the stance,
Or the chairs.
you won't be able to
Oh, is this a
do anything,
switching stage?
which means it's quite the risky attack to use against
Or you
fighters
can-
who have a move with a reflector effect. But you could always just aim into the fray, as it is, after all, a long-range move, letting you deal a sudden blow to opponents. So you need to think carefully when using this projectile weapon. Byleth's final smash is called Progenitor God Ruptured Heaven. In the original game, there's a move called Ruptured Heaven. This is an enhanced version. As you can see, you team up with the mysterious Sothis and launch an attack together. Now, let's talk about the color variations. It's set up so that the default and odd-numbered color variations are male, while the even-numbered ones are female. However, the third, fourth, and fifth colors are, as you can see, reminiscent of the house leaders.
Ah, cool.
Those of you who played the original game will of course understand what I'm referring to.
All I remember is I
This
forgot her
fifth
name.
color is based on Sothis, who you just saw earlier. And the seventh and eighth variations have a different hair color, which is based on something that occurs in the course of the original game's story. Didn't we see this variation in the final smash?
He's already spoiling us something. How dare you, Sakurai? Great Mock Monastery.
Next, I'll introduce the stage. For this one, we of course tried to recreate the place where you spend most of the game, Garreg Mock Monastery.
Greg Mock Monastery.
This is how Garreg Mock Monastery is laid out in the original game. From these, we chose to have it cycle through the marketplace, reception hall, bridge, and cathedral, all in one stage.
Ah,
It's the type of stage that rotates through different areas, such as these four. Let me introduce each of the guests that appear in these four areas.
cool.
The first area is the marketplace. I think this is where a lot of people come to do their shopping.
No
The
way.
guests that appear here are students of the Blue Lion's house,
That's him.
Dimitri,
Dimitri.
Dedu, and Ingrid. Not Dimitri, Dudu, or Ingrid. Their names are a bit difficult to say. They're largely from the Holy Kingdom of Fargus, Since it's a kingdom, that means they have a monarchy. For that reason, I guess you could say Dimitri's the future king. He had quite a difficult life and may or may not end up with just one eye. He's an unfortunate one, that one.
Poor
There are
Demetrius.
vendors on either side. In the
Gimme.
original game, these are important booths where you buy all sorts of things, but here you can break them, you see.
And is crying.
If you do break them, the stage will expand to the left and right. I wonder where people will buy their supplies now. And in the background, you can see the
The
gate.
gatekeeper. I see him around.
You often pass through this area in Fire Emblem 3 houses, and you end up talking to him a lot. Moving through these areas is possible thanks to this mysterious platform. Just when it seems like you've come to a stop, you'll come crashing back down. Be broken through the ceiling and slammed into the building.
It's
The guests
Byleth.
in the reception hall are Edelgard, Dorothea, and Petra.
Yeah, Edelgard, that's what I meant.
Take note, it's not spelled Edelgard. They're from the Adressian Empire. And as such, they embrace their military might. Edelgard is one of the characters who is central to the conflict. Depending on the path you take, she'll go through some terrible ordeals. You'll notice there are prominent chandeliers above the stage. It's possible to knock them down. However, Byleth can't actually reach it, even though it's their stage. You can reach it with other fighters, though. So,
Or
it's
Vital.
nice if you can work your way up there by getting lucky and being launched up, or perhaps by using another fighter as a stepping stone. There we go, I made it. And you can knock it down. Also, you can break this table. Like so. Just like the sign that reads Furin Kazan in the Suzaku Castle stage, it can break if you launch the opponent into it at close range. Next up, the bridge. The camera rotates 90 degrees, creating this long area. It's very wide indeed.
There she is! The only character that matters, besides Edelgard, probably.
It's similar to the Bridge of Elden stage.
Ah,
Guests
she's
are
with
from the
what's his
Golden
face?
Deer, Claude, Hilda, and Lawrence.
Hilda's
They
with
belong
Claude.
to the
Ugh.
Lesser Alliance.
I don't want to
Because
join
it's
with
an
Claude.
alliance of many noble families, you could say that they have a wide assortment of members. And Claude is the sharpest of the bunch. Incidentally, both Claude and Hilda are the names of characters that appear in Genealogy of the Holy War, the 4th title in the Fire Emblem series. I guess once you've reached the 17th game and are creating 40 characters for each new entry, you're bound to get a bit of name overlap. The naming process must be tough. Hey, it looks like the Pegasus Knight is busy training. As for the bridge's design, it's just a long pathway, plain and simple. You can expect plenty of blows to be exchanged at the edges of the screen. You could also say it's a place where the fail knot really shines, and in this sense, I think it suits the Golden Deer perfectly. The last area is the cathedral, only with some platforms you can pass through. The guests appearing in the cathedral are Sedith, Flame, and Rhea. There's Sedith, who appears to have an extremely strong bond with his sister, Flame. She seems to be under the protection of him and Rhea, who you can see fighting during the opening of Fire Emblem 3 Houses.
Who the crap are these people?
All three have character quirks related to their true identities. I feel that Flame might be saying shush at this point, so I'll leave it at that. This is a simple area of the stage. All it has are these platforms. Being the last area, it may be a place where some intense battles will be waged. It'll cycle through each location in about 2.5 minutes.
Let's see Byleth in action!
Okay, today we'll have a tag team battle in Squad Strike with the DLC team pitted against Fire Emblem protagonists from throughout the ages. That'll give us precisely 5 players per side. Alright, here we go, Joker. Joker!
Joker, no! You were the
And
chosen
Hero!
hero! Why?
Gee, we really made a lot, huh? Banjo!
Banjo!
By now, I think you know what I'm doing. But basically,
Terry
I'm trying to defeat
White.
all 5 opponents with just the Professor here. But as expected, it's going to be a pretty tough battle, so I'm using anything I can get my hands on.
Watch how the professor does it.
Uh-oh, this is bad.
Get out of there!
Shenanigans. I better keep my distance. I'll use this chance to attack.
Bam!
Got him. That's scary. He's invincible for a moment here.
Ooh. Well, Sakurai was riskier than I was.
Ouch.
Ooh.
Perfect shielded that, huh? Good one. If I do this, or like so. No anti-air, huh? There, the soccer ball connected.
Time for confusion, fool. I was hoping it would be Waluigi.
Good. There's Mom.
Mom? You're just gonna call Mother Brain
You're in a good
Mom?
spot, Mom. I shouldn't have taken that. Gardevoir. Well, I guess no one uses projectiles. At this point, it doesn't matter if Gardevoir's there or not. I feel like the enemy might get this smash ball. See? They
Oh.
got it. But I mustn't give up.
Another
I
chance.
can't waste this chance.
Yes!
There's another smash ball. Yes, got it.
Ooh.
Now, what are you charging up for?
Here's a present!
There's still more. Whack. Go on, you can take the hammer, but it's mine. Although I'm scared I might get hit with a counter in this state. I was trying to fight using Byleth's abilities alone, but what matters is that I won. Good game. It can be fun to play like this, especially in tag team, so I think it's a good idea to try imposing different types of challenges on yourself. The end.
The end. Song collection! Alright, what kind of new songs get introduced?
Now, about the additional music.
The apex of the world.
Since it's from the Fire Emblem series, we'll be adding each of the new tracks to all the Fire Emblem stages.
I'll probably just
There
put
are
them all
already
on
a lot of Fire Emblem
the new
tracks in the
stage.
game. Our selection this time has been made taking those existing tracks into consideration.
11.
11 songs are being added. This includes an arrangement of the main theme in both Japanese and English.
Why couldn't you do that with
I hope you enjoy
Wario?
this as well.
With Ashley's song?
We're also adding in a new spirit board. It includes the house leaders among some of the other popular characters.
Hilda! Hilda! And
So
also,
this is Legend class. Also, there's a new classic mode route, a Heroic Legacy, which is designed to let you enjoy classic Fire Emblem stages from throughout the series' history. The final battle is against Master Hand and Crazy Hand.
as
You'll find
usual.
that something pretty amusing happens, so look forward to that.
I just have to get through everyone else's classic mode.
Now for the Mii Fighter costumes.
Alright,
Take a look.
the Mii Fighter outfits. Which ones do I want? Mii Fighters! Let's look forward to these. Assassin's Creed? Altair? Don't know anything about that. Don't know if I even watched it. I don't even think I heard of Altair. Rabbids. Poor Rayman. Mega Man X. X Gunner. Mega Man Battle Network. I think some of these costumes were also in the 4th installment, but I'm not so sure. At least the Mega Man ones, I mean. Cuphead? Don't deal with the devil? What? A good day for a swell battle. Cuphead! Includes a music track. Alright, I'll get Cuphead just for that. Okay. Cuphead joins along with Sans. I can't believe it! It's Cuphead! And I never played Cuphead. But only get you for that song.
This time, we're releasing a Cuphead costume. And for those of you who purchased the Cuphead costume, an additional song will be added. It's called Floral Fury, and it's the theme that plays when fighting Cagney Carnation. I hope you enjoy these as well.
Thank you.
After purchasing a costume, I recommend using the sharing feature. If someone has created a Mii fighter, you can play using the costume it's wearing immediately after you download it.
Nice.
And now, onto the amiibo.
Richter and Dark Samus.
The color palette for Dark Samus looks pretty good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Dark Samus and Richter are planned for release on Friday, January 17th.
Five fighters joined the fight.
And now, with the addition of Byleth, the Fighters Pass is finally complete. The lineup was Joker, Hero, Banjo and Kazooie, Terry Bogard, and Byleth. From more than 70 fighters, only 5 have been added. But I must say, this game has always been an exceptional experience. And since the roster was already so large to begin with, right from the start, we intended to make the most out of the new gameplay mechanics and so on. There really were a lot of new mechanics, weren't there?
Yes.
When we add a new fighter, we don't simply make their attacks or their movements a little different. Instead, we try to offer you a whole new style of play.
Byleth is dead.
As I stated, we'll continue to release more DLC fighters down the line. I had thought that 1 or 2 might suffice, but, well, have a look.
Oh, we're gonna get a preview for next one? Even more fighters are in development. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Number 11. 11? 6 additional fighters will join the battle.
Looks like there will be 1 more fighter than last time.
You're crazy.
We will be releasing the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Fighters Pass Volume 2. It will be
Nice.
available for pre-purchase on the date shown, so please keep an eye out. And now that it's official, we intend to move ahead with development. Of course, like last time, the contents will remain unknown for now, and I'm personally very sorry that we have to release Fighters Pass Volume 2 when the details have yet to be revealed.
That's okay.
Like last time, I'd be very grateful if, despite that, you would understand why and purchased it. Furthermore, the new additions have already been decided. Even if I receive many requests regarding potential candidates on Twitter, I'm afraid it would be very hard to consider them.
Sakurai's calling these people out.
But I still hope you'll look forward to it. We're also including a bonus with Fighters Pass Volume 2.
What's that?
Last time, it was a Rex costume. But this time, here's what we have. It's a Mii Fighter costume for Mii Sword Fighter, the ancient soldier gear from The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
That's a little disappointing, but I guess it's kind of
This
cool
will
for
not
people
be
who want
for
it.
sale individually, so it can only be acquired as part of Fighters Pass Volume 2.
Lastly,
It's been reported that Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is the highest-selling fighting game in the world.
into Wild.
Personally, I don't know if it counts as simply a fighting game, but I guess it's seen as a fighting game around the world.
Is it a fighting game?
Seems like Street Fighter 2 was in the lead for a while, but now Super Smash Bros. Ultimate has surpassed it in total sales. However, I'm not sure if this is accurate. There were 5 versions of Street Fighter 2, or 6 to 7 if we really want to get into the Wii. Plus, there's the arcade versions and the 25 ports to other systems, so I don't know if that's been accounted for. Also, I don't know if that really qualifies as one game. It's up for discussion. So, who knows? But when it comes to a single piece of software, it seems like Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is #1.
I'm number 1.
Although, I still don't know if it can really be called just a fighting game.
It's a fighting party
I feel
game.
like it's become more than a fighting game. Some sort of celebration of gaming or something else entirely. Also, I feel a deep attachment to the 5 DLC fighters. The first Fighters Pass just wrapped up, but it was decided that there will be more DLC. Which means, no breaks for me.
Godspeed, Sakurai and your
I plan to
development
keep
team.
working hard, so I hope you can continue to support us. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Was there going to be a teaser? Or is that going to be the end? Footage still under development. Thank you for watching. Well, that looks like it's the end. All times of menu. Oops. Yeah, I clicked it just in time that said the video is unavailable. What's chat saying? Live chat is unavailable. Good. I gotta check Twitter super fast. Like, supersonic fast. I need a song playing while I'm doing that. Hopefully it won't be loud. Give me a second. Sorry for going so super slow, Luigi. Of course, the only fitting song is Fire Emblem. Well, may as well see if who's mad. I can't believe my original prediction of next Fire Emblem protagonist came true. I was correct, Luigi. Time to meme on all the haters. Oh my goodness. Another FE. Smash Direct. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Can I get something positive for a few seconds, please? Let's see. Just something positive. Everyone's favorite Fire Emblem Three Houses character is in the Gatekeeper. Well, he's not my favorite. That's only because I don't have 3 houses. Still angry that Hilda is in that guy's place. I don't like him. Granted, that's me being petty, though. Who knows, maybe he's actually pretty cool.
Another one.
there. My hot take. Everybody hating on Byleth, but at least they use different weapons, like what some Fire Emblem fans wanted. I should probably just stop the stream now. Maybe I'll do a few test streams later on. I think I'm feeling it, Luigi. Or I'm just feeling tired. But anyway, I don't see anybody here, but thanks for hopping on, and I'll see ya next time.